This is your closing argument.
The Harris campaign began with joy and closed with fear. Hope became Hitler. Vibes became tribes. And the brat summer, well, it became a flat fall. The vice president made her final argument last night. She chose the ellipse in Washington, D.C. And again, the argument was more about how awful Donald Trump is than about how good she is. In fact, she mentioned Trump 24 times.
We know who Donald Trump is. He is the person who stood at this very spot nearly 4 years ago and sent an armed mob to the United States Capitol to overturn the will of the people in a free and fair election. An election that he knew he lost.
Well, the polls have told us for weeks that voters feel Harris has not yet defined who she is and what she really wants to do. Last night she tried, and she really did try. There's a lot more autobiography. There was a self-effacing plea to be given a chance. Above all, she tried to cast herself as a unifying force in a country knotted by division. But the crucial final days of her campaign have been squandered on a dark fantasy of fascists, gulags and Nazis. You can't unite and divide at the same time. You can't be for joy and nihilistic Nazism at the same time. And even as she spoke, looming behind her in the White House, the ghost of elections past appeared to give her one last splitting headache.
And just the other day, a speaker at his rally called Puerto Rico a floating island of garbage. Well, let me tell you something. I don't know the Puerto Rican that I know, or Puerto Rico where I'm in my home state of Delaware. They're good, decent, honorable people. The only garbage I see floating out there is his supporters.
Well, that was a staggeringly stupid outburst, which belongs in Hillary Clinton's infamous basket of deplorable slur against effectively half of America. I didn't like Tony Hinchcliffe's jokes at the Trump rally. I just didn't think they were very funny. But we've had 2 days of uproar about an acerbic comedian known for his roasts because he joked that Puerto Rico is an island of garbage. But now the President of the United States has declared that half the population of his own country is human trash. It's hard to imagine a better way of turning out the Republican vote. Meanwhile, the Democrat strategy for turning out their own vote appears to be full-blown shrieking hysteria.
The stakes literally are life and death for every woman in America.
I mean, you're a journalist. You and I might be sharing a cell in 6 months from now.
Support Muslims, and he wants to start internment camps. And that's what we are busy talking to every voter. He's telling you what he's going to do. Believe him.
Internment camps?
Yes, he has talked internment camps.
Taking it from a Brit, this is starting to feel like the Brexit debate back in England. I voted and argued against that decision to leave the European Union. I still do. But the Brexit campaigners ran a smart campaign which branded their opponents as Project Fear, while the Remain campaign ran around saying everyone on the other side was a terrible racist. If you browbeat people who are not happy with the state of their lives by telling them that everything will get even worse if they dare to defy you, well, don't be surprised if they decide to roll the dice. To debate, I'm joined by Cenk Uygur, who's the host and founder of The Young Turks, by Wajahat Ali, the co-host of the Democracy-ish podcast,
Moses became
Ben
a
Ferguson,
member.
co-host
Moses
of Verdict with Ted
celebrates
Cruz,
3 months
and
of
broadcaster
membership.
and influencer Emily Austin.
Moses
Well, 4
3
absolute
months.
powerhouses to debate all this. And we're going to debate, garbage, Hitler and war. What could bring the 4 of us all together, or 5 of us all together, better than that? Let me start with you, Ben Ferguson. It's been a tough couple of days for Donald Trump ever since the rally, which I was at Madison Square Garden, where they're on the back foot trying to defend what this comedian Tony Hinchcliffe has said about Puerto Rico being an island of garbage. And it must have felt like literal manna from heaven last night when Joe Biden suddenly appeared out of nowhere in his bunker on a Skype call, of all things, right as Kamala Harris was presenting her final plea to the nation. And he calls basically every Trump voter in America, so 80 million plus people, garbage. Your thoughts?
Look, in politics, the last week of a campaign, your surrogate's job is to do no harm. And Joe Biden went out there and said something that was just unconscionable. And if you're going to say you're outraged by a comedian, and I didn't like what he said either. I think most people were pretty, bang on with what you and I saw. Like, come on, like, don't say that. I disagree with it. And it was a bad moment for the campaign because now you're not talking about the issues in that moment. But when he walks out there and he says that Americans are, as he describes it, floating garbage, that's the gift that just keeps on giving. But when you connect the dots, like as much as people say that he's senile and obviously had to drop out of this race, look at what the Democratic Party has said, that, conservatives cling to God and they mock God and guns. You have, Kamala the other day saying you're at the wrong rally when someone said something about believing in Jesus Christ. And then you've got the basket of deplorables by the way, Donald Trump's Hitler in the last week, and that he's a fascist, and that Kamala Harris believes a fascist. If this is your closing argument to the American people, that we truly hate half of this country, and we think that you are deplorables, that you are garbage, that you are fascists, that you are Nazis, that you are Hitler, I don't think that's the closing argument that the Democratic Party or any strategist would say, yes, this is what you should be saying in the last days. And I think this could literally cost them not just the presidential.
To be honest, the thing is, I've been doing the Tiamat build since season 4.
Some House seats as well, because it is the worst things you could say about half the country going into the final days. You're supposed to have some hope. I mean, Barack Obama, remember, why did he win? He won because he ran off of hope and change. There was some unity in his message. It was hard to land punches of hope and change. I mean, Barack Obama, remember, why did his message? It was hard to land punches against him when he was running against McCain. And people felt like he was going to bring the country together. Kamala Harris is doing the complete opposite of that. I don't understand it. It's inexplicable to me that this is their campaign strategy.
All right, Cenk, you've been smirking there, but I've got to say, you tweeted several days ago you thought Trump might be heading for victory. When I heard this garbage line last night from Biden, and whatever the White House tries to do by putting an apostrophe at the end, trying to pretend he was talking about Hinchcliffe, it's very clear he said supporters. If you label Trump supporters as garbage, you are falling into exactly the same trap, as Ben Ferguson just said, that Hillary Clinton did, of wiping out an entire section of the American society as deplorable, garbage, whatever. And coming off the back of the absurd Nazi Hitler nonsense, what happened?
Nonsense. 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 Calling Trump Nazi is nonsense. Dude, that fucking what is it? Whatever that event was called. That comedian supposedly saying, calling the entire island of Puerto Rico garbage. Whether he meant the people or whatever the fuck he meant doesn't even matter. Because the other people on that event said much worse stuff than that guy. That fucking, good god, it's so fucking evil, man. That fucking, what was his name, Giuliani, was literally over there screaming and screeching, trying to justify that, oh yeah, killing 2-year-olds is fine. Yeah, killing 2-year-old Palestinians, that's fine, they're basically terrorists. It's fine. Or some other guys calling Kamala Harris the Antichrist. So other ones said much worse stuff than that comedian guy. So ultimately it really doesn't even matter what he meant when that whole event was a complete train wreck of hateful, racist, disgusting fucking rhetoric non-stop. It's like, you can say what you want, but you cannot defend every single moment of that fucking event because it was filled with that kind of garbage and those kind of vibes. Just Nazi shit. Why is Camille bot lane? Push that shit.
happened to the joy? Where's the joy gone?
What
here?
happened to the joy?
You see, I've still got the joy because I'm about to tell you how ridiculous you guys are. But first, let me acknowledge things that are true. So, number one, Biden shouldn't have said it. Look, my co-host on the Young Turks, Anna Kasparian, has been trying to get everybody to stop attacking the voters themselves. I think she's absolutely right about that. I've been guilty of that in the past, and we're trying to get past this. So Biden shouldn't have said that. On the other hand, you know Biden's senile. I mean, look at that clip that you played, stuttering up Puerto Rico, Delaware, I don't know, and we're still. You guys said he was senile and should get out of the race. Now you're like, oh, no, he means it. He's perfectly cogent. He represents all Democrats. So
Well,
that's
hang on.
By the way, don't say things like,
Just
okay,
to
here
be
we go.
clear,
Of course.
Just to be clear, well, because,
of course.
just to be clear,
Ben speaks for
he
2
is-
minutes, and I always
No,
get
on that
interrupted.
one,
Go
no,
ahead.
you'll have plenty of time. But just to be clear, he remains the president of the United States. Joe Biden hasn't quit. He remains in the Oval Office running your country. So I'm sorry to jump in
Piers,
and point
you know
out
my-
that we may think he's
Piers.
senile, which I do, but he's still running your country.
Okay, Piers, you know my position on Biden. I ran against him because I thought he was senile, and I thought it was ridiculous. But now all of a sudden you're pretending he's not senile. He is senile. It's
No,
like
I'm
getting
not
mad at
pretending
somebody
that.
with Alzheimer's. What are you getting mad at him for? Well, that's ridiculous. But that's not the point, guys. Look, I'm granting you that he definitely shouldn't have said that, and Debbie Dingell definitely shouldn't have said internment camps because Trump never said that. Now, having said that, guys, are you
When Trump calls immigrants animals, pure silence, no problem. When Biden calls Trump supporters garbage as a counter to what the comedian said. Oh my god, where's the joy? He's running your country? What is going on? That's very bad. It's very divisive. And the irony being that it's like when it really comes to it, every American is an immigrant when it comes to it. If we really want to be specific about it. Every American is immigrant. It's a country of immigrants. So in that sense, he's calling everybody, every American, an animal. Trump, that is. Well, that's not a problem, all right?
The joke's on you.
It's hilarious.
really pretending to be offended after you've supported Donald Trump, who has said everything in the world about left-wing voters, radical left lunatics? Hey, here we go again. No interruptions. He's called them radical left lunatics, Marxist, communist, fascist. He said that we should use the military to attack the enemy from within. And then you're pretending that all of a sudden you caught feelings?
Not pretending.
MAGA, do better than that. You're being ridiculous and you know it. Now you're snowflakes. Now you're snowflakes. After all
right, let me bring,
snowflakes.
okay.
When you-
Hang on. Don't all shout.
Hold on,
Let me
say
bring in
this real
Emily.
quick.
Let me bring in Emily. Emily, apparently we're snowflakes if we're offended by Joe Biden calling 80 million Americans garbage. I don't think that's snowflakery. I mean, I do remember for the last 3 days, all I've heard is Democrats screaming.
You're all ignoring all the things Trump has said.
Hang on.
You guys are so
hang on,
nuts.
Check. If I just say, I'll come
Trump
back to you,
is the
Check.
most vicious
All I would
politician
say
of
is
our lifetime.
the way
and now he's like
Democrats
purist and driven snow.
Wait a second. The way
You're
Democrats have
ridiculous.
pivoted. Hang on. The way Democrats have pivoted in the last 3 days from garbage is the worst slur imaginable to just because Joe Biden calls 80 million Americans garbage, suddenly, why are you getting so offended? Is laughable. Emily, to you.
Okay, let me make something clear. The Republicans are not snowflakes, and since Biden called the Americans who support Trump garbage, all I've seen on X are memes of people going to vote now in garbage bags, memes of people putting trash cans on the street and saying it's a family portrait. Republicans are not snowflakes, and truth be told, I don't think anyone's offended because, yes, our sitting president, who has nuclear codes, is a senile old man. That, let me remind everyone, Kamala literally 2.5 months ago was endorsing him and reminding everyone that he is sharp as a tack. But here's the issue. It doesn't speak to the Republicans.
Sharp as a
it's
tack.
showing the American
Better than that. Let me start with you, Ben Fergus. Since the rap, Tony Hinchcliffe has sent her from heaven.
What the
last
fuck did
night.
I do?
When
How
Joe
far
Biden
back did I
suddenly
go?
appeared out of nowhere. I heard this guy
Joe Biden went out
on the other side was trapped.
What the
that he's a
fuck?
Mad at somebody with a number one.
Running.
He's
memes of people putting trash cans on the street and saying it's a family portrait. Republicans are not snowflakes. And truth be told, I don't think anyone's offended because, yes, our sitting president, who has nuclear codes, is a senile old man. That, let me remind everyone, Kamala literally 2.5 months ago was endorsing him and reminding everyone that he is sharp as a tack. But here's the issue. It doesn't speak to the Republicans. It's showing the American people, despite Harris Walz claiming they're the party of unity and they're for everyone, and yes, Harris is a continuation of Biden, who's failed as a president, they claim to try to unite everyone. But then the sitting president goes out and says, oh, you all are garbage. We don't care what he says. He's delusional. But it speaks to their character, it speaks to their party, and it speaks to their values.
Bingo.
And that is a problem, that they're showing the American people their true colors. Republicans don't care. Call us garbage.
How about
call
your
us
values?
deplorables. We just want our president in office.
Okay,
Let's talk about
Vajra, I mean, look,
How about
I
your
think
values?
whatever.
All,
hang
all
on,
Trump
Jake. I'll
does is
come back to
attack
you.
us
No, no, Jake, let me-
1,000 times, and you
We don't
totally
call you
ignore
Hitler.
that.
We don't
Hang
call
on,
you
let
Hitler.
me bring-
We don't say she
Guys,
go to
let me-
camps
hang
for
on,
re-education.
He's
hang
called
Who's
us every name of the book
interrupting
he
now?
Hang
has.
on, we're
He's called
coming
us
to Hitler.
fascist. He's called us
We're
Marxists.
coming to Hitler. We're coming to Hitler, which is now only the second most offensive thing of the week. Vajra, from a political point of view, the stupidity of what Biden did can't be overstated, really, because Kamala Harris, I watched it last night. Look, I think she talks a lot of word salad nonsense. Honestly, I do. She wouldn't inspire me to open a crisp packet, let alone vote.
Do these
for her.
dumb
However,
fucks realize that anybody who doesn't vote for Trump sees it the same way? Does this dumb fuck realize that anybody who doesn't vote for Trump, who isn't in the Trump cult, also thinks that these Trump supporters are weird, cringe, garbage, you name it. So yeah, no, none of this him calling them garbage is in any way gonna backfire on them.
the Democrat nominee,
What are the Trump cultists gonna say? Oh, now I'm definitely not gonna vote for the other side, as if they were ever gonna. No, it's not even gonna move a single vote.
polls are absolutely neck and neck.
Not in the
particularly
favor
the
of
swing
Trump,
states.
that is.
The very last thing she would have wanted, when she's presented her final argument to the nation, is for Joe Biden, the guy she's replaced, who's still her president, to pop up on a Skype call of all things and say this kind of thing, which, whether it's been misinterpreted or not, and I don't think it has been, it's just such a gift to Republicans, isn't it?
This is me playing the world's smallest violin for all the fake outrage of MAGA and Trump supporters, who I believe are the most fickle, brittle, weak people on earth, who can dispense cruelty and demand civility, who hate safe spaces for everyone, want safe spaces for themselves, and who, by the way, with this hypocritical fake outrage, the reason why I don't think most people will care is because people know what Trump is for the past 9 years. And just yesterday, Donald Trump, who is running for president, Joe Biden is not, and Joe Biden, he's 81 years old, he has a stutter, and by the way, I appreciate the context that he gave. I don't think he needed to, but he did. Donald Trump yesterday, final pitch to the country. You know what he called America? A garbage can. Donald Trump said all of us, 340 million Americans, live in a garbage can. Yes, he did. Yesterday in his speech, he said America is a garbage can. Yesterday, Donald Trump said Democrats, who are the majority, are sick and evil people. Yesterday, folks, Donald Trump, when confronted with these offensive comments,
context. If you talk about context,
let me finish,
context.
Ben, don't gish gallop. Ben, I'm about to kick your ass. Don't gish gallop. Just listen to me. I listen to you.
Dude, you're like a buck 20, and this is what liberals do, okay? I laugh this.
Just let me listen. I'm going to do it with a smile on my face.
Hang on. Calm down.
I'm going to beat you up.
Don't talk over each other because people can't hear. But I do really. Hang on. I do want to see. Hang on. Hang on, Ben. Hang on. I do want to see Vajra try and kick Ben Ferguson's ass. So off you go, Vajra.
Not going to happen.
All right. I'm going to do it with a smile on my face. I'm going to do it relaxed. Yesterday, when Donald Trump was confronted with, I'm glad you and Ben and Pierce agree that it was horrific, disgusting comments against Puerto Rico, black people, against Jews, against Palestinians, against women, which, by the way, have rallied Puerto Ricans all across America. You know what Donald Trump said? No big deal. Yesterday, this past week, J.D. Vance said, get over it. J.D. Vance, his vice president, is the one who called him Hitler. By the way, guess who said that Donald Trump praises Hitler? Four-star General John Kelly, just in the past 2 weeks. In the final 2 weeks of his campaign to unify America, you know what Donald Trump said? That the people who are against him are enemy of the people, another Hitler line, and he said he would unleash the military and the National Guard against U.S. citizens, against immigrants and migrants. He said he will invoke the Alien Sedition Act that interned Japanese Americans. This is the same man who ran against the same man who promoted a neo-Nazi conspiracy about Haitian immigrants eating pets, even after he was told it was a lie. The Wall Street Journal, funded by Murdoch, not a left-wing rag, a right-wing outlet, reported that him and Vance were told it was a lie. He still said it, which has caused stochastic terrorism in Springfield, Ohio. So this is Donald Trump. The majority of people don't care. The majority of people know Biden apologized, he stuttered, and the majority of people saw Kamala Harris at the ellipse. 75,000 people came. You saw the last point. Last point I'll make. 75,000 people came out to see Kamala Harris at the ellipse. I'm so glad she was at the ellipse because you know why? It's a contrast. Kamala Harris was there for the Constitution, for the United States.
How the fuck did I feel that Q, man?
little bit closer. underweight. The joke's on you! This will be fun.
You sold me down the river. Down the river, baby. You sold me down the river. Oh,
A little bit closer. Shaclone!
my baby, and I like new silky sheets every night.
It's America for the rule of law. Donald Trump incited a violent insurrection. And just 2 weeks ago at Univision, when the 56-year-old Latino construction worker asked him to apologize for it, he didn't. And you saw that view of those Latino women. He is going to lose. I'm here for the MAGA tears. They're sugar for my chai.
Okay, he's here for the
It's a
MAGA
great
tears, Ben.
talking point.
Are you prepared to start
I
crying?
go back to, and this is why I feel like it's going to be a very strong election night. There's nothing that was just talked about that matters to the people that are hurting and suffering in this country right now. Nothing that was just said there was
Unleashing the
unifying.
military?
Nothing that was just said there was about the concerns of people that are struggling in this country with inflation, with illegal immigration, with convicted terrorists coming across the border, with those that are convicted of murder and rape that are coming across the border. There is zero concern for the American people in your closing argument. And this is the reason why Donald Trump will win on election night.
Ben, do you
because when
agree?
your only thing
Do you
you
agree
can
with
do
Donald
and come
Trump?
out and say is, if I disagree with you, I'm going to kick your ass, which, by the way, goes back to what you guys do.
No,
We don't
no,
like you,
Ben-
we lock you up. We imprison you. We put you in prison.
Ben, do you
we
agree-
come after
do you agree with
lawfare.
Donald Trump?
And then you're like, I don't like, I'm going to kick your ass. Like, this is your closing argument. You guys need to, like, get out of junior
I
high
wasn't the
and do
one.
better for the
I
American
didn't
people.
participate in a violent insurrection, Ben. I didn't
Neither did
participate
I,
in a
and I
violent
denounced
insurrection.
it when it
MAGA
happened.
people
So
did.
guess what? We're not all. See, this
Do
is
you
the
thi-
difference.
okay, wait,
you
do-
guys hate half of America, and you don't understand that your hatred is
Pierce, can I
is
say
saying
something?
everyone is bad when one person
Yeah,
or
Emily,
two people do
let's
something
let
like
Emily
this.
say
Donald
something.
Trump hates
Hang
all
on.
of America.
Gentlemen, let's let the lady speak. Emily?
Please,
Thank you,
please.
boys. The problem is that I think the Democratic Party, they're way too emotional about this election. And it's funny that Wajat's
they're
calling
losing.
the MAGA people the sensitive ones when you cry over misgendering someone, when a dude looks like a dude and identifies as a woman and is called she, you start crying. So don't talk to me about oversensitivity. That's a definition of the Democratic Party.
Yes,
You don't
homophobia
have
and
to like
yes,
Donald
go after the
Trump.
transgenders.
You guys have TDS syndrome. You don't understand that this is not about emotions. Ben just said it perfectly. Every single argument that the left uses against the right are not real factors that impact the American people. They're not factors that keep America safe. It's nothing that helps the economy. You focus solely on how does Trump make me feel when I go to sleep at night.
Why does she look like an alien? Is this who Trump is talking about when he says illegal aliens? Is this who he means?
He doesn't like women. He made a joke about a black person and a Jew and a Muslim and a Christian. Listen to me, that comedian, you guys are pretending suddenly everyone cares about Puerto Rico, but when they were after hurricane, no one gave a damn about them. But let's just forget that for a moment. This comedian makes fun of everyone. So talk about selective outrage. That joke caused selective outrage because he literally rips every demographic of people. And let me tell you the difference. This comedian is not our sitting president. When the sitting president calls half of America garbage,
Bingo.
that's a bigger problem than a comedian who rips every group of people speaking at a rally. Do me a favor, selective outrage. You guys can't stop crying nonstop about your TDS.
Yeah, I mean, I do think the point about
Donald
Tony
Trump-
Hinchcliffe is... Hang on. The point about Tony Hinchcliffe, if you
Sure.
watch the Netflix Tom Brady roast special, he is the star of that roast. He says stuff that makes what he said at the Madison Square Garden seem like a tea party. I mean, he is an offensive roaster of absolutely everyone and everything. And nobody seemed to mind when he was doing it in a Netflix special, which is still available.
They loved it.
Tom Brady's roasting. Everyone found him hilarious. And my point to you, Chen,
Did it fit
would
any
be that
political agenda?
Jon Stewart, of all people, came forward and said, I'm sorry, I find this guy funny. And I wonder how many of the people screaming about Tony Hinchcliffe's jokes quietly found him quite funny. I didn't particularly, but a lot of people would have found his humour funny if they know he's a roaster. But I'm feigning outrage. And then the moment Biden, who is the president of the United States, uses exactly the same word to slur 80 million Americans, suddenly we should all stop being offended. We can't have it both ways.
Yeah. So first of all, I respect Jon Stewart. So when he said he likes him as a comic, fine. But you're wrong about one thing. He slurred all of those minorities. You're right. But there's one group he didn't touch at all: white people, and men, and MAGA. Huh? What a funny coincidence from a brave roaster. So you're in front of MAGA, you don't roast them at all. All you do is roast people you don't like. Interesting. Okay, so now, but guys, this whole getting offended shtick that both sides are doing is maddening. There's a slight agreement there with Ben on, that I have on that. So after Trump does every insult in the world, you guys now are pretending that, oh my God, I caught the vapors. He called us garbage. After Trump, you loved when Trump said all these terrible things. So look at what actually is going on. Why is Kamala Harris pointing out at the end that Donald Trump is a unique danger? Because if you're being honest, he is a unique danger. You don't have to go to internment camps. You don't have to go to Hitler analogies, etc. But when the guy says that the left is the enemy from within and he might use the military on them, and there are his own advisors who said, yes, we had conversations in the White House where Trump asked us if we could use the military to shoot protesters in the leg, which, by the way, shooting protesters, it doesn't get any more cancel culture than that. And he said after he lost that we should terminate the Constitution. If that's not a unique danger to the Constitution and the democracy, what is? And if you say we shouldn't point that out, we shouldn't point out that a guy wanted to terminate the Constitution and shoot the protesters with the U.S. military, and you don't get why that sounds like, and fill in the blank, fascist, dictator, wannabe, whatever word you want, but that sounds super dangerous.
This is the problem. This was not corroborated by people in a large group. The majority of people around Trump said that what you just described, including the comments from last week, never, ever happened. And the people that say it are people that hate Donald Trump. So that's number one. Number two, I look at what he did in office.
They're his own staffers.
He didn't start wars.
It's his
He didn't start wars. Let me finish. He didn't start wars. He ended wars. He had the lowest unemployment for Hispanic Americans and African Americans in history. He had interest rates down in 2+% on a 30-year mortgage. He had inflation down. People could afford to live. And I go back to the closing argument theme here. Piers, if this is what Democrats want to talk about till Election Day, 6 days from now, then knock yourself out, because you're going to lose, because none of this is about the suffering of Americans in this country right now. None of it's about safety. None of it's about ending wars. None of it is about the people that are hurting, living paycheck to paycheck right now. And that is what Donald Trump is talking about here. And the Democrats are saying we hate half of America.
This whole topic of this video started with the frame of, with the framing of, Trump supporters called garbage and make a big deal out of that. Right? So they're arguing about that as that's what they're fucking whining about. That's the topic of this whole fucking discussion, right? Now that they got to get their side of it and say as it is, right? Suddenly there's no arguing. Suddenly, yeah, let's forget about that. What about policy talks? Why do you guys not talk about policy? Why do you only talk about this stuff? Because you're the one whining about that, you fucking dipshit. Suddenly you want to talk about policy as if Trump has any winning arguments when it comes to policy. Suddenly you want to fucking divert the discussion and blame them for talking about this when that's the whole fucking topic of the video. How cringe, man.
You're garbage. The president of the United States of America is saying it. The vice president saying is a fascist and Hitler. If that is your closing argument, you are going to lose. And I go back to Barack Obama. Barack Obama understood retail politics. You have to give something that makes people think about a future that's better than it is right now. When he went on Hope and Change, yes, it was rhetoric, but it worked because it gave people hope for the future. And this party right now is filled with hate. The Democratic Party is filled with hate. Harris and her team are filled with hate for half of America.
These people don't realize that this is if anything, Biden saying that wins them votes before it would lose them votes. Because again, most Americans see it the same way. Those who vote for Trump will never change their mind anyway. They're already like fucking lost in the cold. And those who haven't, if anything, saying this is gonna win them votes. It's like the reason that Hillary Clinton lost was because she was being way too soft on Trump. And the reason that Biden probably won was because he had the guts to call him a clown, to call him all that, right? Including his supporters, including his voters. So if anything, being more aggressive on that is gonna win them votes, because most Americans see it the same way. The way they fucking wanna whine about it and say, oh, that's gonna fucking cost them the election is bullshit.
That's how you don't win an election.
Okay, let me
lose.
hang on. Let me ask Vajra this. Vajra, here's what I'm curious about.
Clarify two things he said wrong.
No, hang on. I'm going to go to Vajra. Let me just put this to you. Kamala Harris had a pretty good start when she replaced Joe Biden. The polls were good for her. She had a good convention. The coronation, you can criticize it for being undemocratic, but it was a very good period for her. But she did it with a very positive mantra. It was going to be joy and hope and the promised land and all the rest of it. Exactly what Ben Ferguson just said. What I can't understand is why she's abandoned that from a political perspective to go full-on Trump bashing, given that for Hillary Clinton in 2016, when she did that, and you can even extend it to having all the pop stars like Beyonce and so on getting on stage with her stuff. It's exactly the same playbook of Hillary Clinton. We know
where
that
was Hillary Clinton in any way being fucking aggressive on the rhetoric
and hammering
on
Trump 24/7 failed spectacularly. The most qualified person in presidential history lost to the least qualified person. So why
because she called them deplorables and shit.
Having watched this from afar, why has she abandoned what looked like a good strategy of hope and positivity to go full-on Trump bashing? Because the thing Trump relies on more than anything is being the center of attention. And right now, all anyone is talking about is Donald Trump.
Yesterday, if you saw her speech, her closing argument at the Ellipse in Washington, D.C., which was attended by 75,000 people, she just did that. She landed the plane. It was about forward-looking optimism. It was about restoring rights. And she put it in the context of history, of struggle. She talked about Seneca Falls. She talked about Stonewall. And she also made a compare and contrast. I'm so glad she did it at the Ellipse in Washington, D.C., because there are stakes here. There's not just two sides. This isn't Mitt Romney. This isn't John McCain. This isn't George W. Bush. This is her versus the man who refuses to admit that he lost the 2020 election, who incited a violent insurrection, whose MAGA supporters took a shit in the U.S. Capitol, who to this day, when asked, did he lose the election, he says no. To this day, he promotes the lie where a majority of Republican voters believe Donald Trump's lie that he won the election, that he lost. He is priming the pump for this type of hate. He has promoted neo-Nazi conspiracies against Haitians. He said he will unleash the military against United States citizens in the final 2 weeks of the
Disgusting fucking reject. Disgusting worthless fucking scum, man. Worthless fucking subhuman.
The joke's on you! This will be fun. Take me. Look behind you. Here we go.
Yeah, unknown brain. Marvin Divine, and we back. Can't nobody tell me nothing. Made it through the rain, I turned nothing into something. No more dealing with their assumptions. Cause I do what I gotta do and I know. Can't nobody do it like me. All they do is judge me for who I might be. Maybe if they took some time to make my mind to see that I'm older than let me tonight see. All I wanna do is get up and go home. Everybody really talking about me, but I guess I'm face it. I'm so faceless.
I don't wanna keep on wasting away. Drowning in my head, I'm losing the way. If you could know, yeah, if I could show.
This will be
I don't wanna keep on living this life so faceless.
I can't with this piece of shit fucking game and these subhuman players, man. Yeah, I'm going off stream after this disgusting fucking worthless fucking losers queue. Filled with a bunch of subhumans.
Here we go.
This is enemy jungle. This is our jungle. And then look at the fucking team diff, dude. Full of subhumans.
This will be fun. March, 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 march.
Redistribution of matter.
How does that make any sense? There's two people under the tower attacking the Silas. The moment I come and use an E, tower focuses on me. That's... Like, how does that make any sense, man? And it can't be that they ran out of tower range, so it focused me. They were under the tower.
A little bit closer. Here we go. This will be fun. Now you see, now you don't. Focus. You thought you would
You dumb fuck, it's free Baron, you dumb fuck. fact that this tower is still basically full HP.
No war. Now you don't. The joke's on you.
I'm over here falling asleep, breaking these people's ankles all at once, man. And yet we can't escape Emerald. Not good enough, I guess.
Just a little bit closer. Here we go. This will be fun. March, 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 march. It is easy, see? Not so fast. The joke's on you. Here we go. Just a little bit closer. Focus.
Never falter.
This will be fun.
And they just fell. It's funny, isn't it? The moment you have a human top laner, the game is playable. Suddenly this is the most human team we've had so far. And the only fucking human top laner probably. And suddenly we get a playable game.
Spread my words.
Wait, I forgot I had this.
Focus.
the election. This is a man who quotes Hitler saying that immigrants poison the blood. So what Kamala Harris is saying is, look, I'm going to take us forward. I'm going to restore Roe v. Wade. Who brags about overturning Roe v. Wade?
We win on election
Donald
day.
Trump. Who has died as a result of Donald Trump and Supreme Court justices overturning Roe v. Wade? Women in Georgia. They did not have access to health care. Who said the most beautiful word in the American language, English language, is tariffs? Donald Trump said that at Joe Rogan. He said whale psychologist, Hannibal Lecter. Let's do economy real quick. When economic experts have compared both plans of Kamala Harris and Donald Trump, overwhelmingly, who says the plan of Kamala Harris works better for the American people? Every single Nobel laureate
That is
economist.
Goldman Sachs
Donald
came out
Trump,
and said
Donald
they were taken
Trump,
out of context.
Donald.
Goldman
hold on.
Sachs
Stop.
came out
stop.
and said
stop.
that
Just
what
stop.
they said on the
Calm
campaign
down.
trail
No,
was
Ben,
a lie.
take it down. Ben,
I don't care about your other
take
lies.
it down.
I don't
Ben,
care about your
take
other
it
lies.
down.
But when you
Ben,
say
take
this
it
to the
down.
American
There's
people
no
who
other
are
lies.
suffering,
Ben, just relax.
Again,
Let
I know
me
you're going to
finish.
kick my ass,
Let me
yada,
finish.
yada. People can laugh.
No,
I'll go back to this.
It's already done.
Goldman
It's already
Sachs
done. Let me
came
just
out
finish. Let me
and
just finish.
said that is a lie. They said that that was not what their report said. And when you insult the American people and you tell them that the economy is great right now and Bionomics is working when it's not working
Ben,
and they're suffering and hurting,
let me just
and
finish.
then you say that they
Let
say
me
her
finish.
campaign plan is going to work better. Goldman Sachs said you're full of shit, to quote you from earlier.
Okay, let me just finish real quick.
Congratulations,
So
you're
go
on
back,
Goldman
look at the
Sachs'
facts,
side.
look at the I'm going to finish.
That's not
Yeah,
nuts.
Nobel
Again,
Nobel
you guys
laureates say
quoted
her
Goldman
plan is
Sachs
better.
saying the
Wait, just
economy
let me
was better under
finish.
Harris. They never
Give me
said that. Y'all brought it up.
Give me
I didn't bring
15
it up.
seconds.
They brought it up.
Give me 15 seconds. Donald Trump wants to have trade wars, tariffs. It'll increase costs for the United States. He wants to give tax cuts to the rich. He has no plan for health care, but he wants to destroy Obamacare. According to Project 2025, no real plan for Social
That he has
Security and
nothing to do
Medicare.
with, but
Roe
okay.
v. Wade,
Throw
he
that
takes...
out there.
Listen, he praises overturning Roe v. Wade. So, yes, everyone's paying attention, Piers. This is why she's leading in the polls, the A-plus polls. This is why I believe she will win. This is why she had 75,000 people at the Ellipse and Donald Trump had 20,000 people at Madison Square Garden. And people are
she
paying
had to-
attention to Donald Trump, who
And
yesterday
Friday-
said we live in a garbage can.
Again,
Okay, actually,
Friday-
what he said.
There you go. Now's your time.
Hang
answer
on,
your
hang
question.
on, hang on.
Can I answer
What he
your
actually
question?
said, he actually didn't say that we're all living in a garbage can. He said that the situation
Thank you.
on the border has turned America
Bingo.
into a garbage
Another
can for
lie.
the rest of the world. Very different
Another lie.
context.
He called America into a garbage can.
Bingo.
I'm just saying,
Is it
different
different?
context to the
Is
one
it
you said.
different?
Let me
It's
bring
very
in.
unified.
I want to switch.
Very
I want to shift
unified.
gears. I want to bring in Emily. I want to bring in Emily. I want to just shift gears a bit to Israel. A lot of talk in the last 48 hours about whether there may be a deal between Israel and ending this war with Hamas. Obviously, we've had the ongoing situation in Lebanon and so on. Whoever wins this election is going to be very transformative in many ways and very significant, but not least, I would imagine, in how we get things sorted in the Middle East if we can. What do you think about what is happening right now? Do you think a deal is a genuine prospect? And how significant will it be depending on whether Trump or Harris wins?
At this point in the war, a Trump or Harris administration at this point, I don't think it'll make a big difference. I think maybe 6 months ago it would have been the world's difference in terms of a ceasefire deal, bringing the hostages home. But at the point that it's at now, Hamas is not even hanging on by a thread. They killed the head of the cancer. They killed Sinwar. Now they're starting with Iran. That's another story. But they really have nothing left to hold on to. All Hamas is doing is demonizing and harassing Israel, and Israel's losing its soldiers every day. And they're hurting the Palestinian people who didn't sign up for this war that Hamas started on their behalf. So this war is dragging and dragging and dragging. When will they surrender? So now hopefully Sinwar, the head of the snake, at least in Gaza, you know, without his leadership, hopefully they'll feel like it's reaching its dead end. But you know what the problem is? I don't know if they care about the innocent deaths lost. Sinwar himself said all the civilian casualties is just a necessary process and it's part of war. So given that Hamas
Dude, if I see
value
one more
life,
of you
I don't know if
dumb
it will end.
fucks, if I see one more of you dumb fucks LARP as a pro-Trump in my chat, I swear to God,
They
man.
don't care about the hostages.
come
They don't
on.
care about the Palestinians. They don't give a damn about Kamala Harris, let me tell you that. So at this point, it's just when will they give it up? When will they
All right.
realize they're losing
Harris
and they've
usually
already
don't.
lost this war?
All right, Cenk, your response to that.
You were the most honorable player from your previous game.
Yeah, first,
Hey.
you didn't let me correct Ben, so let me just correct him real quick. Trump said terminate the Constitution himself. It's on Truth Social, you could look it up. And he said we should attack the enemy from within in the military. It's on tape. So in terms of Israel, look, I was heartened that the strikes that Israel did on Iran were not devastating, meaning that it is a lower chance of war. So it's a rare, slight act of restraint. I'll take it. If there's really any chance for a ceasefire in the next couple of days, that would be amazing. I don't care who's responsible for it. She's now saying like it's not a big deal who brought it to you because it looks like maybe Biden and Kamala Harris are going to bring it to you. But I don't care. Anybody can take credit for it as long as it gets done. The idea that the Palestinians made the Israelis slaughter 42,000 of them at a bare minimum is absurd. No, Israel did that
According
on
to
purpose.
Hamas.
So I think that the reason,
According to Hamas.
no, according to reality, objective reality, every news organization, every human rights organization, Israel's killed more journalists, more human rights workers, slaughtered
Not
over
true.
15,000 children. They're continuing
I don't
to
see,
Amazing.
slaughter
It's
I don't
like
see
I'm
any
listening to
outrage
Hamas
Northern
about
Gaza
human
as we
shields
speak.
being used.
Yeah,
I don't see any outrage on human
Hamas
shields.
terrorist
Israeli
propaganda
parrots.
brought to you by
Okay,
Sync right
Like
now.
you do. You interrupt, that's okay.
propaganda, total, utter terrorist propaganda is what you guys are doing.
It is.
So-
Only
You're
you have
defending
to
the
do.
terrorists.
It's only your
you guys
truth,
are
right?
doing terrorist
Cenk is right,
propaganda on
Emily is
behalf of the
wrong. That's the
IDF.
truth.
You guys have killed
So
four.
IDF
You guys
is
have
a war.
killed
I wanna be clear.
40 times more
propaganda
Hang on,
is
let's
better,
speak over
Cenk.
each other. We can't hear.
You're
Hamas
supporting a
propaganda.
terrorist
Hamas is
state.
Why does she
True.
look like an alien? Can somebody answer that? She looks like the alien that Donald Trump talks about when he sees illegal aliens. Is that what he means? I'm not the only one seeing it, right?
Hang on.
So they
Let
always
Cenk finish his
interrupt.
point, and I will come to
Whenever-
Emily and Ben. Cenk?
Look, whenever you criticize Israel, everybody goes, no, interrupt. Don't let him make points against our beloved Israel. Israel is not part of America. We have to stop sending them money to go slaughter all those innocent people in southern Lebanon and northern Gaza. But guys, all I want is a two-state solution. So if they get to a ceasefire and we get on the road to peace, I would be ecstatic. And I want a safe haven for Jews in Israel. I want Palestine to be a country and to have sovereignty that Israel has denied them for 6 brutal decades in their colonization and their oppression of those poor people. Stop defending the slaughter, the genocide, the ethnic cleansing, and the occupation of innocent human beings.
All right, Ben, your
Here's the
response.
problem. Here's the problem. 2 things here. Number one, for you to get a 2-state solution, then you'd have to actually say that the terrorists need to die, number one. And number 2, the terrorists would have to
They're all
actually
dead
stop
already.
shooting, let me finish, from the river to the sea. The idea that you have a sane group of people sitting down with the Jews who they
Netanyahu
raped
says that.
and killed
Literally,
and murdered.
Netanyahu says
Let me
that.
finish. I understand you support the terrorists. I'm okay with that. I understand your point.
No,
You're
you
standing with
support
Hamas
the
and
terrorists.
Hezbollah.
You're
I
a
understand that.
terrorist-loving
I get this.
supporter of the
This
IDF.
is the difference in this election. See, I understand your point, but this is the difference in this election. I stand with the people that were attacked in Israel by terrorists who butchered and beheaded and took hostages. You stand with the terrorists that killed innocent babies and stabbed them in their cribs. We are not the same
No.
here. We are different here.
You're an
My
absolute
side doesn't chant
liar.
death to America.
Liar.
Your side
I don't
chants
stand with
death
Hamas.
to Israel
I hate
and
it
death
when
to America.
Hamas kill those
There's
civilians.
a difference here.
But you don't
There's a
mind at
difference.
all. You
I
don't mind at
chant
all
from the
that
river
Israel
to the
killed
sea.
40
You chant
times the number
from
of
the
civilians.
river to the
40
sea.
times the number of babies.
Again,
all those
again,
dead
who
Palestinian
killed-
babies, and you love it
On
because you support the
October
What
terrorist
does a
state of
two-state
Israel.
solution look like if it's governed by Hamas?
Who attacked?
Because that's what happened.
Who
There
attacked
was
on
a
October
two-state
7th?
solution. There was peace.
Nothing but excuses
There
for
was
never
peace on
giving the
October
Palestinians
6th.
sovereignty.
How do you have a two-state solution?
These people act like we all don't see the footage that gets posted around on Twitter and shit about all kinds of gore shit that you see about from how the IDF behaves, the shit they do, but also the bombings and the aftermath of it. Day after day, they pretend like we don't see that. It's like as much as Elon Musk has been turning into this disgusting Trump bootlicking guy, and as much as he's turned Twitter into a fascist safe haven, at least he's not actually hiding the truth that goes on over there on the platform, right? At least like if you actually use Twitter, you've probably been fucking scrolling across those posts, or at least we get to see what is actually going on. At least Elon Musk is not like hiding that. And let's just see what's actually going on over there.
This will be fun.
But these people pretend like we don't see any of that. That's why the right and the Trumpists hate fact-checking so much. Because it's not about fact-checking in itself, it's not about who does the fact-checking, it's that anybody can do their own fact-checking in real time. Alright? And whenever you say something that is a lie, can easily be debunked. Alright? If you just do your own slightest research, you will know for the better. So like, the fact that these people will still blatantly lie into your face like that and run with the rhetoric that's not gonna stick with most people because they know better, but they still do that. They're stuck in the past, I guess. They don't realize the fucking times that we live in now. I don't think they get that. We don't live in that time where lies just stick like that, propaganda just sticks like that as it used to. Because we can all do fact-checking in real time, man.
joke's on you. Storm. Now you see me. Go.
What the fuck is happening with my controls, man? I'm actually lagging today. I'm weird at DC2.
The joke's on you. The joke's on you.
Tomorrow is fire touch, you mean today? Yes, soloq on a holiday. Go look at my match story. That's what soloq on a holiday looks like, man. And we were 2 wins away from diamond. On this disgusting ass rigged account. Games, 58% win rate, still haven't escaped Emerald with shit LP games. Makes sense, dude. Makes sense.
The joke's on you. This will be fun. This is motion. Each moment is earned. March, 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 march. The joke's on you! This will be fun.
Mother Bear! We need no help.
Now you see me. Now you don't. Just a little bit closer.
Wisdom of the turtle! Summer's flame! Healed up! Winter's flow! Blazing phoenix! Strike like a tiger! Steel gale! Across the veil! Bring growth!
The joke's on you! This will be now you see. Now you don't. Now you see.
Reach for me when I repent that I should have run. I should have run. You're a monster lost in my bed, making us something trying to address. Let the monster under my bed. mess I keep trying to address cannot come to terms with the monster runs in my head.
What a disgusting champion, man.
The joke's on you!
What is this champion? Like, what is this? What is this supposed to be? He can just shield spam into heal spam, man. What the fuck is this cancer, dude? Dude, like, you gotta love Riot Games champ design. You just gotta love that shit.
The joke's on you! Waste away.
polar bear. Marvelous that. To another. Now you see me. Now you will not. Look behind you.
This guy is scripting. Their characters is scripting. I mean, I was already gonna say something here. This one with the stealth instant Q, yeah, he's scripting. The character is literally scripting. Of course, it's an e-girl name, of course.
Stability and strength.
Good thing Vanguard actually works too. Good thing, man. Yeah, that's a script. Blatant script. Bro's 40% win rate, so thought that, you know, so desperate has to start scripting. Can't make it back to diamond, so has to fucking script. And this is what the fucking rejects match story looks like. No shit has to resort to scripting.
That's not
Everyone's
true.
talking again. Hang on. Let me just bring in Vajah. I wanted to say something. Vajah.
Yeah, I stand for peace and justice for all people there, Palestinians, Israelis, Muslims, Christians, Jews. I'm against genocide. I'm against terrorism. You know, Piers, you've invited me on your show for the past year to discuss this topic. I think we agree a lot more than we disagree. We've seen the horrors, right? You and I, you've asked me multiple times, even proactively, I said I've condemned Hamas's terrorist attacks. It's inexcusable. 1,200 Jews that were killed. And you and I have seen with the horror of the past year where Benjamin Netanyahu, who is deeply unpopular in Israel, his war machine has killed over 42,000 people. The war has now expanded to the West Bank. Just wait, West Bank. It has expanded to Lebanon. It has expanded to Syria, right? The hostages have not been returned. Hamas has been weakened but not destroyed. And you've been covering this for a long time. I've been covering this for a long time. Military solutions haven't worked, Pierce, right? It's just devastation and chaos. What needs to happen, you know this, I know this, is Israel has to end the occupation of the Palestinian people and the settlements. And I agree with Cenk, whether it's Republicans who get it done or Democrats who get it done, it needs to get done for the region, for regional security. This is madness. Israel said recently they're going to pursue a strategy of de-escalation through escalation. Their words, not mine. Has it worked, Pierce? It has not worked. We have seen children die, women die. We've seen more kids die in the past year. Israel's killed more kids in the past year than in any other region. More journalists have been killed by Israel. More UN workers. Hospitals bombed. Refugee camps bombed.
Let me put this to you.
Piers, you and I have talked about it. You know,
let me put this to you. Let me put this to you, which is, notwithstanding all of what you've just said, the one part of that I would question is from a pure military point of view. Well, I would question two things you said. One is that Netanyahu's popularity has never been higher in the last year than it is today. And that is because what he's done to decapitate the leadership of Hezbollah and Hamas.
Yes, it is.
His ratings, his
The
party...
polls say he's
let me talk, Ben, let me talk. I've got this. Netanyahu was very unpopular. Before, Israelis universally were supportive of the mission to get rid of Hamas, but they didn't support Netanyahu. That situation has changed in the polls now. Netanyahu, because of the decapitation of leadership of Hezbollah and Hamas, has never been more popular now in his own country, which has been an interesting turnaround in his own personal poll ratings. So on that, that's wrong. Secondly, from a military perspective, whatever you think of the, as they would put it, collateral damage, as I and you would put it, this appalling loss of civilian life that's been going on, there's no doubt that Israel, from a pure military perspective, has made serious inroads against who they perceive to be their terrorist enemy of Hezbollah and Hamas. You can't question the military success they've had. You can question the proportionality of what they've done and the civilian deaths. But I don't think you can argue right now that Israel has not been incredibly successful in taking out the heads of Hamas and Hezbollah, because they have.
The reason why I respond to you this way is this is not a new story. This is what I've called, and I will say again, is a Pyrrhic victory. In '82, when they invaded Lebanon, killed 20,000 people, right, tried to weaken the PLO, they occupied Lebanon until 2000. Guess what happened? Civilian damage, they had their victory, they weakened PLO. What rose? Hezbollah. Before Nasrallah, they killed the first leader of Hezbollah. Nasrallah came, right? As long as the occupation persists, the problems will persist. The occupation has to end. And now Israel, if you look at the worldwide polls, you know this, Pierce, it is a pariah. The United States and those who support Israel and Netanyahu are seen as pariahs. They're global outliers. Benjamin Netanyahu and Hamas leaders are accused of war crimes. We've seen the spike in Islamophobia, the spike of anti-Semitism. Has it made Israel safer? It has not. And the last thing I'll say is the family members of the hostages have been protesting Netanyahu. And the family members of the hostages have said that he does not care about the hostages. He only cares about staying in power because, much like Trump, we know that this man is also what? Has allegedly committed crimes. And if he actually steps down, what will happen? He'll most likely go to jail. So he needs the war. He needs the war.
Let me bring in Emily. Emily first to respond to that.
Okay. The only correct part about everything that he said was that, yes, the hostage families are heavily protesting Netanyahu because they feel that their children should come home at any cost. And putting myself in their shoes, you have to understand where they're coming from. No judgment there. So I want to execute the situation of a two-state solution. Let's just talk about that for a minute. Unoccupy, remove the occupations, get rid of the settlements. Okay, let's go back to 2005. Let's say we give more land like we gave Gaza in 2005, and the Palestinians now have full sovereignty, and then boom, you have a terrorist group like Hamas that hijacks the country, turns it into a military
She doesn't just look like an alien, she talks like an alien, man.
zone, builds tunnels instead of hospitals, puts rocket launchers in nurseries, makes hospitals Hamas's HQ. What two-state solution
All
could
of
be
which they've done.
under a group of terrorists? It's like, what would Al-Qaeda do if they were given land? What would Hezbollah do if they completely hijacked Lebanon? It's like you're oversimplifying the idea
reality.
of a two-state solution. I want a two-state solution, but it has to be governed by a non-terrorist group. Why is that so much to ask for? Hamas ruined Gaza.
Yeah.
Like, let's say the West Bank. What, the PLO is going to take over? Boom, rockets every single day into Israel, just like Gaza, just like Lebanon. There is no peace with terrorists. And you guys are really making it seem like, oh, if they just unoccupied the occupational lands in the West Bank, then there's peace.
And everybody
then
would get along and sing
they stop
Kumbaya.
launching rockets into Israel.
Before I go to Cenk, hang on, Cenk, before I go to you, Cenk, for a response. What I would say.
The joke's on you.
Why does this guy bring on shills that are clearly just paid mouthpieces, just talking heads, clearly just there to spew the same talking point and getting paid to do so? Why does he bring such people on? I mean, he knows, right? He knows better, but of course, like, he's probably in the same pockets as these shills that he brings on. So.
A little bit closer.
As the skies light up, they believe we are blissfully unaware. But this activity by non-human extraterrestrial technology is capturing the attention of humans.
Just a little bit closer.
Oh, he's mad.
The joke's on you.
Oh, he's molding. He's mad. Was geht? Vieles, Digga, vieles.
As expected.
Joke's on you!
Feel this.
Oh no, he's mad.
The joke's on you!
be. Can't you see? You bitches can't do it like me. Motherfuckers stay mad like I killed the mom or something. If you really didn't care, you let it be. I've been dying since day one, but y'all knew that. My dick like Americans, too fat, but dangerous. I'm the grimiest motherfucker to walk this earth. The shit I do is way below dirty sewers. One red collar, Jack one Adderall. Scales, but I dug up you never heard of. Eat a dick with faggot G's and further. Trying to scrap the universe industry is saturated, manipulating my reality. This sounds crazy, but around,
Not so fair.
Pussy, 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 can't you read? I'm a dirty old pussy eating freak. Motherfucker still mad like I killed a mom or something. If you really didn't care, you'd let me eat. Here we go again, I'll make jokes about your estrogen. That's pretty much the rest of this song, I'm roasting everything. I'm a weird little entity that'll land her titties and bust all over the tummy and little nippies. I know I'm morbid at times, that's how I like to be. They call my dick a mammoth, you salty, you got a micro D. Classic penis joke inserted with appropriate timing, cause if I ain't
Better jungle is winning again, man. What can I say?
homo, but seriously, I'm getting faded, and my life is like low budget and underrated. Kids, the only way to succeed is to dip away at the soul, and hope that by the time you get there, you ain't singing.
Fucking retards. It's just impossible for these monkeys to not start brain dead fights like that. It's impossible.
Now you see me. Now you don't.
This retard is level 12, man. And is forcing fights.
Not so fair. The universe waits.
The joke's on you.
You fucking disgusting shit stains. You disgusting fucks.
This will be fun.
No, don't go.
I'm out. I go play off stream if at all, or I don't play at all anymore today, man. But that's the last game. That's for the stream at least. Not doing the shit with these cancer inbred fucks. These disgusting fucking rejects.
As expected.
Here we go.
Yeah, I'm out. Enough for today, I'm out.